Welcome back to Court TV Live. At any moment, opening statements are set to begin in the dueling defamation civil lawsuits between actor Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard. Court TV cameras are in place in Fairfax, Virginia, and you won't miss any of this trial. This is Johnny Depp arriving a few minutes ago, about a half hour ago. Depp is suing his ex-wife for $50 million in damages for career setbacks he says were caused by an op-ed that Amber Heard wrote back in 2018. Heard is pursuing her own $100 million defamation countersuit against Johnny Depp. We'll take you into court as we watch. This is video of Amber Heard arriving at the courthouse this morning. Yes, we can. Let's go. The judge is on the bench.
Your Honor, please publish our agreed demonstrative.
All right. There's no objection to that? People have changed places here. I just want to make sure I look at the right place.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we're
It's
good.
a blank screen right now, so we would ask to publish it now.
Okay. I'm assuming it's,
We tried it out beforehand, it seemed to work.
if it's a blank screen, it's hard to see if it's working or not.
Understood.
It is published,
Thank you.
but it's just a blank screen, I guess. Okay. We're going to hope that's it then. All right, thank you. Anything else we have?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're ready for the jury?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
All right, going to get the jury. What we're expecting will take place now as you take a look at this courtroom, which is packed. There were people outside this morning waiting for an opportunity to get inside this courtroom to watch day one of testimony. Obviously, you see Johnny Depp there in between his legal team on one side of the courtroom, and on the other is the ex-wife Amber Heard. They have been battling it out here and in London for years now, and today we're going to hear both sides. Their opening statements are expected after the judge instructs the jury on their way in. Eric, this is an opportunity for, as we come and watch the jury, I'll cut you off as soon as they've been seated. But this is big, is it not? This is the opportunity for both sides to get their story out in front of this jury.
Absolutely. What's so interesting about this type of case is one of them, if not both of them, did something really terrible, right? One of them, you know, what's being alleged here is either someone is making up allegations of domestic abuse, domestic violence, or someone has committed domestic abuse or domestic violence. So one of them did something really horrible and inexcusable. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out and how Johnny Depp tries to prove his case and how Amber Heard tries to prove her side of it to show that what she said was true. It should be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the members of the, well, we don't see them, but they're filing in and sitting down. Let's go back in.
All right. Are we ready with opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Good morning. My name is Ben Chu. My colleagues and I from Brown Rudnick are truly honored to represent the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp. Some of you may recognize Mr. Depp from seeing him portray characters such as Edward Scissorhands or Captain Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. For nearly 30 years, Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood, a respected artist whose name was associated with success at the box office. Today, his name is associated with a lie, a false statement uttered by his former wife, the defendant Amber Heard, that falsely cast Mr. Depp, falsely and unfairly cast Mr. Depp as a villain, a man who would violently abuse a woman. This is a defamation case. It's a case about how devastating words can be when they are false and uttered publicly. Under the law, a person who makes a false statement about someone else can be held responsible for the harm that results from that falsehood. That's because words matter. They paint a picture in our mind based on what we have experienced and what we know, or what we think we know. And because of that, words can evoke strong emotions in the listener and cause irreparable harm to a person's reputation. And when, like Mr. Depp, your career depends upon your image and your reputation, or whether movie producers want their films associated with you, that harm can be particularly devastating. This is a case about the impact of Amber Heard's words on Johnny Depp. Specifically, the words that she used in an op-ed published in the Washington Post in December 2018, which is shown on the screens. And the op-ed was published, and this is no accident, the evidence will show, on the eve of her first major acting role in the movie Aquaman. The evidence will show that's no coincidence. The evidence will show the words that Ms. Heard used, which are the subject of Mr. Depp's defamation suit against her. And there are three statements that we respectfully ask each of you to focus on. Statement number one, quote, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath." Statement number two, 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. And I want to repeat that because you're going to hear that throughout the case, because the timing here is critical. 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Statement number three, quote, "I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse," unquote. Ms. Heard did not use Mr. Depp's name in the op-ed. She didn't have to. She didn't have to because the evidence will show that everyone in Hollywood, where Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard both have their careers, and many others outside Hollywood, knew exactly what she was talking about when she used the word 2 years ago. I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. That's because, as the evidence will show, and you will hear, 2 years earlier, on May 27th, 2016, Ms. Heard had publicly accused Johnny Depp, her husband at the time, of domestic abuse. You will learn during the trial that Ms. Heard's actions were prompted by Mr. Depp's request for a divorce. He wanted out, which drove her to concoct, to make up a story that was, at first, designed to keep him. And then, when he made it clear that finally, after all he had endured, he was done, was designed to recast herself as an abuse survivor, with Mr. Depp as the alleged abuser. The evidence will show that 6 days after Mr. Depp requested a divorce, and he did so politely, and 3 days after Ms. Heard's lawyer threatened Mr. Depp with claims of abuse if he did not agree to her financial demands, Ms. Heard arrived at the courthouse in Los Angeles, California, to file for a restraining order alleging abuse. Ms. Heard, the evidence will show that Ms. Heard showed up with a mark on her face that mysteriously appeared 6 days after she last saw Mr. Depp. And 6 days before, she publicly filed a request for a domestic violence restraining order alleging abuse. The evidence will show that her publicist and the paparazzi were there at the courthouse to document the event, to make sure that Johnny Depp's name was forever associated with the image of an innocent, battered woman. It was a jolt. It was a shocking story, splashed across front pages across the country. No one had ever, in 5 decades, accused Johnny Depp of being violent with a woman. No one had ever accused Mr. Depp of being violent with a woman. He had been in other long-term relationships. He had children.
Objection, Your Honor. Excuse me. May we approach?
All right, let's get a break in. We got a sidebar. Opening statements have begun. We'll get you back into the court. You won't miss a bit of it. Back after this.